That caught me off guard. I think we're live and I'm chewing.
Well, you're welcome, everybody.
Yeah, seriously. I think we're live. Yeah, seriously. Yep, we definitely are. All right. I wish there was like a way that I could do this, like checking to make sure we're live and the audio's coming through without me being like, I think we're live.
No, I know. It's just because that delay gets a little tricky, but that's okay because then the audience gets a glimpse of real life.
Yeah, and tonight they're going to be treated to this delicious ASMR of me chewing.
Well, tell them what you made. You were bragging to me about it before we hopped on here.
This is a homemade curry hummus with homemade toasted pita chips.
You slipped into that way too easily. Oh, Lord. And there we go.
All right.
ASMR, but pandemic edition is what you're doing.
Yeah, and we're back. Hey, everyone. Hey, Jolene.
Hello, Louis.
Let's just get to this part because I need it.
Yes, I was gonna say I've opened
cheers.
I'm doing an Icelandic beer tonight. Oh, you've already cheers. Okay.
I did. Sorry. We'll do it again. Oh, this is good. This is good. This is I got this at Trader Joe's. This is again we're not.
Oh.
Nobody's paying us. But this is a Zinfandel, and I bought it because of this little label. It's really pretty, but it's good. It's Corvelia.
I do the same thing. I love that label. That's a wine bottle I would have bought as well.
Yeah. So I've been doing this thing with my sister where we cut the glass bottles and we turn them into things.
Uh-huh.
They're just basically still wine bottles without the top.
Love it.
Yeah. Really creative. She actually turned a few of them into flower vases, but I don't like flowers.
Okay, so that's very practical then. Is she giving them away as gifts or selling them on Etsy or anything?
No, she likes flowers, so she uses them. She has given a few of them away. But it's really fun. You do the whole like hot water, cold water, and then it just pops up. It's kind of like, I feel like people who like to watch pimple popping videos would like it because there's like a nice little pop. But instead of gross pus, you get a cool flower vase.
That's amazing. I've actually never done that before, so
I feel like you and Daniel would love it.
Oh, I'm sure we would. This never occurred to me. I drink the most wine when I'm with you. I don't produce a lot of empty wine bottles by myself. So, although I do have one right now. So, okay. We'll have to make a date at some point.
Oh. Well, speaking of unrelated things, Breonna Taylor's murderers are still at large. Nobody has brought them to justice.
Yeah.
On that note, just wanted to remind everyone that that's still happening.
It is, and I actually, all jokes aside, I think it's good to remind people that it's still happening because the hype dies down, you know. And I see a lot of social media posts about that, but it's important to keep that in mind that while our life moves forward, this is still happening and important.
Yeah, I've been doing interviews all day, and I had a guy. The dad, I've had to edit 2 interviews, and one today I had to edit out a guy who was just, he's like the only guy in the family, the only male in the family, and we're talking about like movies and who gets to choose, and he's like, yeah, I'm the minority, and he goes, can I say minority lives matter? And I was like,
oh my.
And this is the sound of ASMR of my brain exploding.
Such a sad, squishy brain you have
tonight. Thank you. Yeah, it is a little sad and squishy.
Yeah.
But it's going to be less sad and squishy, I promise you. Partially because of you. No, I love seeing you every week. How are you? Any updates on your end?
Oh, huge updates. I have a lavalier now. Very excited about
I love it.
It's that, microphone jokes. We got them, folks. No, everything is been fine. I feel like the week went by so quickly, and
is it really loud because of the mic?
No, not okay. I hear little hints of it.
Little crunches.
But no, man, it's been a great week. It just went by really, really quickly. And I'm really excited about tonight's guest and happy to be here.
Yes, and tonight's guest is my arch nemesis,
That's why I'm excited about him.
Nemesis. I'll say that again. He's a smarter one. But yeah, so he's another ginger. He's a fellow ginger. He's a mutual friend of Fernando Rivera's. Fernando, I guess, likes to collect gingers. I don't know what that's about. But so Matt Steele, he is the diva behind his debut film, DIVOS, which is Mean Girls meets High School Musical. It's a hilarious backstage farce, and the boys bring the drama. It's going to be available on demand beginning July 14th, and we'll talk more about that. But he's hilarious. He has a heart of gold. And he is the second best ginger on this podcast right now, or videocast. If you would like to give a warm welcome to Matt Steele. Hello, Matt. Thank you for joining us.
Hello. How are you guys? I'm not going to lie. I was very tempted to leave the second this became an ASMR radio show because
you and everyone else, Matt.
I hate ASMR so much. I think it's just the most repulsive thing that anyone could possibly put on the internet, and not just eating sounds, but the people who just talk softly into the microphone. It just makes my stomach churn and I want to die.
No, that's the part that gets me. Yeah, it's that voice, right? The sounds I could maybe get behind, but it's the ASMR voice that I just find so creepy. I'm with you on that. That's why I said Luis slipped into that way too easily.
I'm so sorry that you both feel this way.
No, we're gone. I'm out. Goodbye. I'm taking my kombucha.
Jesus is watching, y'all. Jesus is watching right there.
No.
Well, Matt, thank you so much for jumping on. Super excited to have you on, not just because you're freaking hilarious and awesome and super smart and all these things, but also I'm really excited for you. I mean, I don't know. I just threw that in there. I ran out of adjectives.
I'm not dumb.
I ain't dumb.
Yeah.
But I am really excited for your film. So do you want to tell us a little bit about DIVOS?
I would love to. Where do I start? So DIVOS is a teen comedy that is a farce about the backstage drama between boys in their High School Musical. It's basically a gender-bending all about Eve, I like to call it. Sort of like an all-boys Mean Girls meets High School Musical, as you so eloquently put it, Luis.
I stole that from your website. I take no credit.
I know, yeah. So technically I came up with it first, but I'm glad you decided to use it. And it is being released on demand on July 14th through Freestyle Digital Media, which is our distribution company. It was produced by J&R Productions, by executive producers Roberto Rosario and Jason Bernard, who are just wonderful, and I owe my life to them. And also In the Basement Entertainment, which is my company. And it's just been a giant, crazy process. I've been working on it for the last 9 years.
Wow.
So the fact that it's coming out in less than a week is I'm way calmer than I totally thought I would be at this point, which I'm really surprised and proud of myself for. I think I did all of my crazy panicking a couple weeks ago, and this week I'm kind of just settled into it and just you know what will be will be. And so yeah, it's going to be available on demand pretty much anywhere where you can rent or buy movies on demand. So iTunes, Amazon, YouTube Movies, they're the three main ones that most people use to buy their movies on streaming. It'll also be available on Fandango Now, Vudu, Google Play. It'll be on the AT&T has a streaming service, DirecTV streaming service. There's a company called Hoopla, which apparently caters to libraries, so that's kind of cool. It'll be available at libraries as well. We love literacy.
Reading is fundamental.
Reading is really fundamental, but you know what's more fundamental? Going to the library and walking past the book section and going to the movie section and seeing DIVOS.
Yes. Well, I want to play a little trailer for everybody, so hold on to your butts.
Sister Heart, can I get an E? Balls and enthusiasm. That's That's all you need to succeed in show business. A little bit of enthusiasm and a lot of bit of balls will get you a long way.
When my baby performs, he commits.
This is a High School Musical. Politics has nothing to do with this.
You know it doesn't matter to me if I get the lead. I'm just here to have a good time.
Why do you gotta be such a bitch every year, Ricky?
Lord, rehearsals with you all these years have been like going to work every day in hell with Satan. But your era is over.
How many styles of dance do you know? Sorry, I have so many questions in my
How many
head.
styles of dance do I know?
Yeah.
Oh god. Like, what did I study in college?
I guess it's coming from a person who can't dance at all. I've loved the idea, never have, and I was just watching all the fabulous things you were doing. I was like, okay, he tap dances. He's doing contemporary. I don't know all the.
Well, there's no real like dancing in the actual movie. It's basically it very much spoofs like the high school choreography, like a box step, and how the kids like can't even do that. But as far as me personally, you know, I studied all of it, and I went to NYU for musical theater, and we had to do it all. We had to do like ballet, tap, jazz, modern. We had to do classes in song and dance where we had to like learn how to like dance and sing at the same time, like stuff like that. And like yoga was part of our dance curriculum and all that stuff. I just slept during yoga. But.
No, then it's a real testament to your skill, because I even just watching the trailer, I was like, oh my god, they're gonna be dancing their asses off, because you just have such commitment even in the trailer. That looks like so much fun.
Yeah. Thank you. And that's actually our teaser trailer. A full trailer is actually coming out later in the week, so stay tuned for that guy.
Amazing. Well, and I'm curious about something you said, and I'm sure Luis has more stuff to throw at you as well, but you said that you had your full panic mode before, like a week before, and you're relatively calm now.
Mm-hmm.
But what is full panic?
I'm not really calm now. Like, let's not get it twisted. Like,
of course not.
You know,
I was more panic mode.
I mean,
like for
this was the face Matt Steele was making the entire time that he was watching.
That's your watching Road teaser trailer face?
That was his face.
That's my Lord, literally everyone attached with this movie will tell you that is my face in the making of anything, because I'm constantly like critiquing like every single solitary second. Jason Bernard, one of the executive producers with the J in J&R Productions, he always like jokes that I always say that everything is fine. Like, if something is good, if I say something is fine, that means that I think it's good. I don't know, full panic mode, it comes in various different forms, you know? A lot of ranting to my roommate, a lot of, it's just a lot of work late at night, just sort of making sure every detail is as good as it can possibly be, like, in terms of marketing stuff. At this point, we're doing that.
But any coping mechanisms? I mean, long showers or binge eating or whatever. I need you to help make me feel better about myself, Matt.
When I stress, I'm just like nonstop talking. Like I'm just venting to everybody around me, and like that's how I kind of like cope with that. So I think that's a relatively healthy method of coping with something.
Are there any? Oh, go ahead.
I mean, as I said before, I don't drink. So like I'm drinking kombucha right now. So like I don't have that vice. So.
Are there any on-set stories of like Matt having to decompress? Or did it go relatively smoothly?
Production went relatively smoothly. Production went way more smoothly than I ever anticipated it going. I mean, there of course are stressful things that happen. You get a little behind and all this kind of stuff, but there were no disasters that happened on set, I have to say. Nothing too crazy. No, I mean, there was one like small moment where like the power went out for a little bit, and I think that just kind of like affected the AC unit for like a little bit. And we shot the movie back in September, end of August, beginning of September in 2018. So it was pretty hot, and it was in the valley. So that was the only semi-disastrous thing that happened, from what I remember. If anything super disastrous really happened that was worse, then I blocked it out of my memory.
How long were you in production?
It was a 15-day shoot, and then 1 day in early 2019 for like pickup shots.
Okay.
This was 15 days and this is a feature-length film.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, we had the most dynamite like team. It's our director Ryan Bartley just really knows how to run a set like so well. Like he was just on it, and when we got it, we got it. Our first AD, Jeanette, was just such a rock star with scheduling and everything. She was really great. We had just like a really, really great crew. I couldn't have asked for, a better crew. Everyone just really, really believed in the project, and everyone was very encouraging and positive the whole time, at least to me. But I guess they kind of had to be, because they knew that this was like my baby that I wrote and everything. So, yeah.
Nice. And I mean, you have a pretty impressive like cast lineup. I mean, you have Marissa Jarrett Winokur, Jake Busey, Nicole Sullivan. Like, how did you get some of these more recognizable names attached to your film?
Well, I remember I got the idea that I wanted Marissa Jarrett Winokur because I was watching Celebrity Big Brother. I'm a huge Big Brother fan. And so I was watching Celebrity Big Brother, and I'm kind of just like, she's so just everything she does, she's just so known for being perky and wonderful and everything. And her role is like this miserable, like music teacher. And it actually, right before the production process, we got this amazing school. Originally, it was supposed to take place in a public school, and we found this amazing church that had a school like attached to it, and we were just like, oh, this is so convenient. Like, there are these classrooms attached to it, and like you can put there are these outdoor hallways in this little cafeteria area, but it didn't have an auditorium, and so I was just like, well, so me and the director Ryan and Jason, and Roberto and I, we were very much like, well, what if we make it a Catholic school instead, and just like have this teacher be a nun, And so at first I was like a little hesitant on the idea, because I'm just like, oh, I don't know, this is completely different from like what I saw in my head for the past several years. But I totally made the change to the script, and I think it just brought so much more character to the film. But yeah, anyway, to go along with how we got them, we sent the script to Marissa. Our casting director, DIVOS, sent the script to Marissa, to Marissa's manager. And Marissa called Jason, the producer, herself, and was just like, I'm absolutely 100%, I need to do this film. She read the script in like 2 hours and just immediately called him and was just like, I need to do this. I'm so excited. Absolutely, I'm on board for anything. So that was really great. And of course, I had known, Nicole through her work on Mad TV for several years, and so the casting director was like, "What about Nicole Sullivan?" And I was like, "I love Nicole Sullivan. I think she's perfect she plays my mom in the movie." So the offer was sent out to her, and she accepted right away as well. Same with Jake Busey. I'm just like, he's perfect for the dad. So yeah, it was our casting director who really got us those cool guys.
And you said that was DIVOS, right? Was the casting director?
DIVOS, yeah.
Yeah, didn't she used to work for or with Billy DeModa, if I remember correctly? I haven't been in that. Am I thinking of the right?
I do not know.
That doesn't
I
matter. That's just I know that name, so I was trying to piece it together. That's so fabulous. So the story of how you kind of brought all this. And you started writing this. You said 9 years ago.
Yeah, I started writing it back in 2011 when I was still living in New York. And at the time, I was working with kids a lot because my brother used to direct a fall murder mystery at my old high school. Every year my old high school would do like a murder mystery play, like comedy in the fall, and then in the spring we would have like our spring musical, which was the big event and everything. But so my brother and I, we actually, my brother had been directing the murder mystery for several years, and then as time went on, he and I actually started writing the murder mysteries together because we wanted, plays that were bigger and fit the talents of our students, to a T. And so in 2000, LA, and I was in New Jersey a lot, where I'm from, helping him, direct the murder mystery. And I was just so inspired by all of those kids and the crazy antics that, they would do and everything. And it was it was 2011, so around this time, like, Glee was very popular and High School Musical obviously was very popular. And I felt like there was a big emphasis on like kids who are performing in their school play, and the big emphasis was, look at how talented everyone is, and everyone's dreams come true. But we all know that that's not what a school play is really like. Like school plays are giant messes 99% of the time.
I don't know what school you went to, but my school.
I was about to make a similar joke. Sure.
But the thing is, like, that's what we love about
what
that.
low class.
And I was always, after having graduated from NYU, the musical theater program, I was always very fascinated by the culture of boys in musical theater. Like, it's like a very specific, like, low-key, catty kind of world. And so I was like, well, I want to focus on a high school play, but focus on the boys in that world, So I wrote the first draft of those. It's been called DIVOS the whole time. And I just wrote it, and it was kind of just this lighthearted comedy about boys trying to, make it in their school play and just the crazy antics that would happen. But there really wasn't much of a plot. Like, it was just kind of, like, I sent it to my brother several times, the first drafts, and he was just like, this is the funniest thing I've ever read, but nothing happens. So I was like, okay, well, what are you going to do? And I never in a million years at this point, like, expected it to ever get, made. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I did that, I wrote it, whatever. And so then I put it down for 2 years. In that process, I moved to LA, took on, other different creative projects. And then in 2014, I picked it back up again, and I was like, okay, how do I, like, this is such a cute idea, how do I, like, make it work? Like, I need to give it some sort of a plot. And so I was like, well, what if I completely play against the sort of lighthearted, family-friendly, like, tone that's in a lot of these sort of movies and TV shows about high school musicals, and I just make it full on, like, this is a movie about competition, and this is a movie about the cattiness of boys in their high school musical. And so I was really inspired by the movie All About Eve, and so I kind of used that as a diving board to launch off of. And so then I started rewriting it with that in mind, and then in 2015, I made a concept trailer for the film with our director who ended up directing the feature film, Ryan Bartley. And then I had a crowdfunding campaign in 2016 to raise money for the film. We ended up and used the concept trailer as like an advertisement for it. And so we reached our goal in the Indiegogo campaign, which was $40,000. And then was working with Ryan throughout 2017, and then in 2018 we met Jason and Roberto with J&R Productions, who were like, we believe in this film, let's go, we can do this. And so that was kind of like all I really need was someone, since I've never done this before, I needed someone who had done this before and a company that had done this before to really like take the reins and help make it happen. And I was so lucky to have found them because J&R Productions really, of course they had, they held such a tight, firm grip on the movie in terms of making sure it got done and everything, but they really gave me a lot of say in the creative aspects of everything. They really went to bat for me in terms of keeping my vision and in keeping certain things that really meant a lot to me about the film and in keeping with the style and the tone that I wanted. So I'm really appreciative of that. And I don't know, we shot it in 2018, fall of end of summer of 2018, and then we finished it in 2019, and end of 2019 we got the distribution deal with Freestyle Digital Media, and then we were planning on like a spring release, and then of course
COVID
happened. Yeah. So things kind of got a little pushed back because of that, but yeah, so now we are July 14th.
But I mean, this is great, and I love the story. It's such a great example of perseverance and creating your own content. I mean, you hear people say that all the time. It's a very hot thing to say, create your own content. And so I always love talking to people who have done that. I'm curious what you would say to anybody out there who's still in process, of finishing the script or finding the right director or getting the right cast, finding distribution. What would you say to that person who might feel discouraged at times and this isn't going to work out and should I turn back?
I don't know anyone like that.
What might you?
I don't know anyone like that.
What might you say? I'm asking for a friend.
I'm just gonna tell them to buckle the hell up because it's gonna be there are gonna be so many. There are gonna be way more valleys than peaks, and you can't dwell in the valleys. You just have to find a way to make it work. You just have to find a way to not panic. There were so many aspects of this movie that totally threw me for a loop and changed. I was expecting something to go one way and then it went another way, and so you just really have to learn how to adapt.
Well, and did you hit that wall though at some point where you were like, I don't know, maybe I don't make it. Maybe this isn't meant to be. Did you ever think, look at
every day? Okay. Oh my God, it's July 8th, and I'm just like, I don't think I'm gonna make it.
I love that, but that's so honestly, that's so truthful what you just said, and I just see a lot of people getting stuck in. I just don't think they understand the reality of getting something made. So it's so nice to be able to talk to you about that.
Well, and also to know that you've been working at this for 9 years, and you took 2 years away, and you revisited the script, and you got feedback, and you reworked it, and now you're working with Broadway legends and comedy legends, and you're casting. I have 2 questions from some of our viewers. One,
yay,
Fernando Rivera. I don't know if you know her. But how he asks, what was it like? I'm correcting his grammar. What was it like casting when you've been so used to auditioning as an actor?
It made me feel really good because everyone came in, and I genuinely liked everyone, and it you really got to see that, like, because you go into an audition room as an actor and you're just like, oh, they hated me, or like, oh, I did such a terrible job, and but just seeing everyone come in and everything, it's just like, no, like, like the people behind the table, like, and I know this is such a basic thing that casting directors always say all the time, but you know, it's really just wonderful seeing people and seeing what they can do, and even if they're not right for whatever role they're auditioning for, it's still, you know, if they make an impression, they really do. Like, I still remember all the people that made impressions on me in the casting process, and it's just very, yeah, it's just very enlightening to really. It's especially interesting to see people of different ages when they're auditioning. I found that, like, the older actors, it's so interesting to see how comfortable the older actors, especially the older character actors, like the character actresses, how just so insanely comfortable with themselves they were. That was just, like, really inspiring to see, because it's just like, all right, here's this chick who's been around the block, like, in terms of auditioning. She's been through it all. She just came in and just, like, threw down. We just had so much fun.
Oh, I didn't know Fernando auditioned for your movie.
Yeah, I know. She was great. Yeah. The casting process is always really fun, and it's always just so interesting how you see so many people who give really good reads. Like, for the lead role of Josh, we saw so many talented people. He's the blonde boy who plays, like, my rival in the movie. We saw so many talented, you know, young people of so many different types and looks and everything. And they were all really talented, and it's just interesting to see the little checkpoints that are required of a certain actor to make it so that person is the one that gets the role, you know? Even something as small as, like, oh, well, how does this person look? Because they have a lot of scenes with this person, like, does it look balanced? There were a lot of people who were really talented who didn't necessarily, like, fit in the look of the film. Like, they, I don't know, had a more dramatic look or a more serious look, or, like, they were too good looking or something like that. So it's just interesting to see how people just kind of naturally match the film tonally.
Yeah. Luis gets that all the time. If I have to hear him one more time come home and be like, God, I'm too good looking for this role. And it's
just every time.
Problem.
My muscles were too big.
Not anymore. We have another question from an unknown, Matthew Bridges. He asks, OMG, how was it working with Broadway comedy legends Marissa J. Winokur and Nicole Sullivan? Question mark, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point.
Marissa is exactly how you would expect her to be. She is just, like, a bundle of fun. She, I don't know if you watch Celebrity Big Brother, but, like, you watch her in the house and she's just talking a mile a minute. She's just go, 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 go. And Nicole was just such, like, a warm presence on set. Nicole actually, it's so interesting because she and I kind of have this, like, semi-dramatic scene together, and that was, and she wasn't able to go to the read-through, so I wasn't even able to meet her. So it was literally like, she was in hair and makeup. I walk in and I, like, introduce myself and I'm like, hey, I'm playing your son. I love you. Thank you so much for doing this movie. And she was like, oh, so great to meet you too. I love the script. And then Ryan, the director, kind of just walks in. He's like, by the way, we're shooting the dramatic scene first. And then just, like, runs away. And so the two of us are just like, oh God, we have to shoot this sort of intense scene that requires, you know, this mother-son connection right away when we don't even know each other. We haven't even talked to each other for more than 30 seconds. So we both kind of just looked at each other and we were just like, oh shit, all right. I guess we gotta make it work. And we did it. like the scene just went so well. She's just so excellent in the role. Marissa is so perfect in the role. Yeah, and it was, and as like a musical theater fan, just like working with Marissa, it's, you know, she's a Tony Award winning actress. I, you know, remember watching her win the Tony Award live as it was happening and just being like, you know, like I need to see Hairspray, and yeah, they're both just so great and exactly what you picture them to be. And Marissa and Nicole also know each other in real life too. I think they said their kids play sports together. So they were both, you know, chatting about each other on set, and they were just like, oh my god, I love her. And I was like, yeah, better be telling the truth, and they were.
Nice.
Did you already read to him, Luis? Did I miss it somehow that Joseph Di Giuseppe said your mom says hi, Matt?
Oh,
and
no.
she loves you.
Oh, I'm sure my mom's got everybody watching.
Yeah, and actually, you have another one. Catherine Kirk says, "Hi Matt, I attended the premiere last summer at the Hollywood Theater. I absolutely loved your performance. Congratulations to you and Jason. I love Jason and so proud of you, Matt."
Thank you, Catherine Kirk. Yeah,
and then Joseph.
We had a screening last year, middle of.
And then Joseph Di Giuseppe followed up your mother says I love you with Matt. Why did you choose that shirt for this interview? It's ... questionable.
That's my cousin.
Okay, I was like,
I
didn't know who it was.
I'm actually surprised you're not wearing your Carol Channing. So Matt Steele is a huge Carol Channing.
Carol's right here.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Huge Carol Channing fan.
If I send you a photo, I'm gonna send you a photo.
Send me a photo. So,
yeah.
So what?
Carry on. I just have to find the photo.
Matt Steele, tell me a little bit about your obsession with Carol Channing.
She's the greatest performer who's ever lived and will ever live.
All right. Well, that sums it up.
No, I've been obsessed with Carol Channing. I've been obsessed with Carol Channing my entire life. She, you know, I grew up watching obviously the Alice in Wonderland and everything, and you know, I'm obviously a massive Broadway fan, so she's just an absolute legend, and yeah, she's, and so I feel like, you know how like every gay has like their number one diva that like represents them, like Carol Channing's mine. And I feel like you can tell a lot about a guy by who his number one is.
Who would be my number one diva?
Girl, like, that's your decision to make. You don't know your number one diva?
I don't consider myself a diva. But while I contemplate, let me just give you some ASMR footage of me pouring wine.
No, I want to kill myself. No, that's awful. Terrible.
It's going to taste so good, though. And then, Matt, so you actually have your own video, which is, you know, second to ours, your little video podcast that you do. It's called Two Gay Matts. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's, we have a YouTube show. My roommate and I, his name's Matt. Actually, his middle name's Matt. His first name is Daryl.
Oh, technicality.
I know. But, you know, he goes by Matt. So, like, we'll allow it. The Matts will let him in the club. So we have a YouTube show that we started in 2013. And he's a songwriter. He actually wrote, you know, the main song for the movie. It's an amazing song that it's called Up to Par, and it will be released early August. Like on Spotify and everything.
Nice.
But it's in the movie and everything. And it's like the most fun pop song like you will ever hear. I was like, write something really fun and bitchy. And he's like, got it.
Got it.
Got it. And so we have a YouTube show where the premise is my background is in musical theater and movies. His background is pop music, and so we both come at things from, you know, different perspectives. So it's sort of like a pop culture commentary show on YouTube. And we have a video on YouTube once a week, and we also have a podcast as well that we started around this time last year. And so that's every Monday we have the podcast, and usually like every Friday we have the YouTube show. So we have stuff coming from all directions with 2 gay mats.
That's amazing. And you actually used to have a another show or something you used to do, which was the Doomsday Diaries. I'm surprised that hasn't resurrected for, I don't know, 2020.
Oh Lord, that was exhausting. I would never be able to keep up with that now, especially with all the work I'm doing now. I definitely thought about it. What the Doomsday Diaries was back from, it was a YouTube show I did, like a sketch comedy YouTube show, just like in my bedroom, just commenting on stuff or playing different characters. And I started it December 21st, 2011, and I made a video every single day until December 21st, 2012. And it was basically a countdown until the Mayan apocalypse that was supposed to happen on
that old thing.
Yeah. Remember when the world was supposed to end?
It was supposed to, wasn't it supposed to end again, like recently in the last couple of weeks? Didn't somebody say, "Oh, the Mayan calendar's off"? It's not.
I was under the impression that the world did end, and that we're all kind of just looking around.
Yeah, I think we're in the the after time.
The after time.
Yeah. All that. Yeah,
I think we're in the upside down. We're in some weird shit.
This is the upside down for sure.
This is some weird. I mean,
I'm Catholic, and that's what the Catholics always called it, the upside down.
There's some weird shit going on.
Look, we got the Demigorgon in the White House. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
guys,
and we've got Jolene hanging out with Carol Channing 10 years ago.
What is this? Tell me the story, Jolene.
I was so excited. You know how often I show people, I mean, the picture doesn't come up very often at all, but when it did, because this was back in, oh my God, I was barely 21. I was living in New York. And I used to show people this picture, and they'd be like, "Who is that?" And I would just want to rip it in half. And not the original, but dramatically rip it in half and then like spit on them or something. But no, there's no like big story. I just was in New York working at an off Broadway theater as a house manager at the time. And that theater, the York Theater Company, threw this big benefit for Carol Channing to honor her. So she did a number, and they gave her a little award, and all the people that worked at the theater got to go and eat hors d'oeuvres and get your picture taken with Carol Channing. She was so sweet. I didn't have a huge frame of reference, but I was like, holy shit, it's Carol Channing.
Oh my God. Every person I know who's met her, I'm like, what is she like? And they're literally just like, she is exactly what you would expect. Like she is Carol.
Yeah,
what she should be.
Yeah, and she just is. I don't know. It's difficult to explain because she just has complete command of kind of who she is and what you're like. She pulled me in for that photo. She called me sweetheart. I was, this little naive thing. Like, oh my goodness.
If Carol Channing called me sweetheart, I would burst into flames. Like I would just be ash on the floor. One time I met Sheeta Rivera, and she touched my cheek and told me I was adorable. So I think that's the pinnacle of my life.
This should have been you then, and not me. I think the importance of it grew for me over time.
You know what, Jolene? It should have been me.
I absolutely agree. If I could send you back in time and have you switch places with me, I would do it.
But it had to be someone who's not me. I'm glad it was you and not Luis.
Thank you.
I wouldn't have enjoyed it at all. I would have been like, "I'm sorry, miss, do you need help crossing the street?"
Do you need help with your Sudoku? I can do that, I think. I never get to bring that up. And as soon as you said Carol Channing was your diva, I was like, oh, I'm going to dig this out of the archive.
And that was in the files, deep files on your phone.
Yeah.
Well, Matt actually knows a bunch of stuff. He doesn't just love Carol Channing. He loves pretty much all female actresses, and he's actually known in our group of friends in our circle for knowing basically like all there is to know about like Oscar trivia. Is that right?
Not all there is to know.
A lot.
Like, I'm not like there are some out of anyone you probably know, Louise. I'm sure I know the most, but like there are people out.
Well, my friends are not well cultured. We'll say that the two who are who are watching right now.
There is an award show like world out there, that big, just like every bit of awards trivia, Grammys, Emmys, Oscars, Tonys, like daytime Emmys, like you name it, they know all the details. So like I would say I am like a B+ expert in this category compared to.
Well, I want to put your knowledge to the test a little bit with a little trivia game. And
I do know every single Best Supporting Actress Oscar winner in history from memory.
Okay.
Like that is the one thing I'm like I know.
Okay.
Holy crap.
How do you feel about Best Actress and not Supporting Actress? What's your knowledge on that like?
Well, supporting act. Oh, I know like I know all the lead actresses. Once we get earlier than like 1950, then I get a little like iffy.
Okay.
In terms of memory of like the exact order they go in, but like I know.
All right. Well, I'm gonna test you a little bit. So, my first, and this is on the Best Actress. We'll blame this on Fernando because I asked him. I was like, "Which one is he? Does he know Best Actress or Best Supporting?" And he's like, "I think it's Best Actress, but it might be Best Supporting." So I was like, "I'll just focus on Best Actress."
Supporting.
Yeah. And then he got back to me at like 11:30 p.m. after I'd already put this thing together, and I was like, "Fuck it."
Fernando really thought that it was actress that I knew and not supporting. I'm mad at him.
He said one of the two. He said one of the two.
Oh my god.
He's the worst.
Yeah, no, supporting actress is like my category. Like that's the best
Got
category.
it. I mean, in Fernando's defense, at least he is being supportive right now. This is him watching
Wow.
him watching the show.
Oh, guys, we love our fans.
Speaking of supporting. All right. So,
Picture is so damn cute.
it is a pretty cute picture. All right. So, question number 1. Which actress has the most Best Actress nominations?
Oh, Meryl.
What?
Not Meryl.
Oh, I thought you said I don't know. Yes, Meryl Streep has 17 nominations and
17. Oh, 17 for actress.
17, yes.
I can name all her nominations if you want, but like you don't.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Stop jumping ahead.
I just want to brag.
All right. So, which actress has the most Best Actress wins?
Katharine Hepburn.
That is correct. Katharine Hepburn, 4 wins and 12 nominations. All right. When did Katharine Hepburn win her second Oscar for Best Actress, and for what film?
Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, 1967.
Yes, that is correct. 1967. Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? Yeah. All right. And just a little fun trivia. She actually has the most wins in this category because she was nominated for Morning Glory, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, The Lion in Winter, and Golden Pond. And that's when they used to allow multiple, category wins or same category wins. All right. So here's question number 4. Who received the first Academy Award for Best Actress?
It's for Sunrise and oh god, what's her name? Janet Gaynor.
Yes, Janet Gaynor. It was for Sunrise, Seventh Heaven, Street Angel, Sunrise, A Song of Two Humans. Man, you're doing well. Good for you. I'm sorry, no, I lied. This was the only occasion in which an actress has won one Oscar for multiple film roles. That's what it was.
Yeah, I had no idea what you were talking about with that Katharine Hepburn thing.
I lied. All right.
I was like, I'll just let her talk.
No. I'm sorry. What I was saying is like she has the most wins in this category. Janet Gaynor was the one who won for several. She was nominated in several Best Actresses.
She won for multiple.
Yes, exactly.
That's just like the Best Actress of.
Exactly. All right. Who won in 1939?
1939 was Gone with the Wind, so it was Vivien Leigh.
That is correct. Vivien Leigh, Gone with the Wind.
I'm really happy that you're using the correct years because technically, amateur Oscar trivia people would say not like 1940 just because they were technically awarded in 1940, but it was for the 1939 year.
Well, I'm glad.
So this is when you know you're dealing with like a legit trivia buff when they're like, okay, not only will I tell you how right I am, but I'm going to tell you how wrong the.
Yeah.
No, it infuriates me when people are like, oh, the most recent Oscars that happened were the 2020 Oscars, and it's just like
it's a 2019.
2019.
Correct.
Yeah.
And by the way, Jolene, if you happen to know the answer to this and you say it first, you get brownie points. Like any of these questions,
Okay.
if you answer it before, or anyone who's watching comments first, you win over Matt Steele.
Dang, yeah. Hold your breath.
Question number 6. Which actress has won 2 separate Best Actress awards for playing the same character?
It's won 2 separate. You mean, but was nominated?
No. Which actress has won 2 separate Best Actress awards for playing the same character?
No, because Cate Blanchett was nominated for both Elizabeths, but she didn't win for either of them.
Did she not win?
No.
All right, then that question is incorrect. That was Cate Blanchett.
The question is
that was a trick question, and he won good points, and not Oprah, Fernando. It was not. Oprah has never won. That was just a trick question.
Okay, none of them.
All right, number 7. Which of the following has never won a Best Actress award, but has won a Best Supporting Actress award? I'll repeat the question. Which of the following has never won a Best Actress award, but has won a Best Supporting Actress award? Now the choices are Ginger Rogers, Alicia Vikander, Whoopi Goldberg, or Julianne Moore.
Well, the answer is both Alicia Vikander and Whoopi Goldberg. Yes, that's the answer.
That is not. No.
Weird question.
Alicia Vikander, no.
Alicia, the question is who has won supporting actress but never actress?
Correct.
Do you mean who's been nominated for? Who's won supporting actress and has never been?
No. Who has never? No, I said who has never won a Best Actress award, but has won a Best Supporting Actress award.
Whoopi Goldberg and Alicia Vikander have never won Best Actress.
Has she won Best Supporting?
Wait, award in general?
No, Oscar. We're talking Oscar. Oh, she did.
Whoopi Goldberg won the Golden Globe
God damn
for
it.
The Color Purple. But
I had a long day yesterday. I swear I really worked really hard on this. Okay. So it was Alicia Vikander and Whoopi Goldberg. That is correct.
Yeah, because Whoopi Goldberg was nominated. Whoopi Goldberg only has one Oscar.
Correct. She won for Ghost. Correct. Ghost in 1990.
She did not win for The Color Purple.
And Vikander won for The Danish Girl. All right. This is going to be quick fire.
Okay. You look amazing.
Thank you so much. All right. I'm just throwing you little curveballs. That's all. All right.
It's fine.
This is gonna be quick fire. Who won? You're gonna say who won and what film. All right. Here we go. And whoever says it, and these are correct. These are not trick questions. All right.
Okay. So are you gonna?
I'm gonna say that. No, I'm gonna say the year, and you're gonna say who won and what movie.
Okay. Who, what actress or any award?
No, the Best Actress. We're talking Best Actress. Okay. All right. Okay. 2015. And again, Jolene, you can go.
What?
Jolene can answer as well if she gets it.
Oh, it was Brie Larson for.
That's correct.
That's what I was gonna say.
We'll say it faster, Jolene. Get him out of here. 2005.
What?
2005.
2005 was Reese Witherspoon for Walk the Line.
Correct. 2003.
2003 was Charlize Theron for Monster.
1943.
Oh, damn, that was in the 40s. I get my actresses mixed up in the 40s.
It was Marilyn Monroe for someone.
No.
Girl, no.
I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something. Throw it out there.
10 seconds.
Was that Mrs. Miniver?
Nope.
43 was Mrs. Miniver.
Nope. Ah, you are the worst. You don't know anything, Steele.
That was 42. I'm sorry, that was 42.
Starts with a J.
What?
Starts with a J.
Jessica Tandy?
Jennifer Jones, The Song of Bernadette.
Oh, Jennifer Jones, Song of Bernadette.
1994. 1994.
Yeah. She envisions a nun. 1994? It was Jessica Lange for Blue.
Correct. Damn it, 1961.
1961 was that was Anne Bancroft.
No.
For the Miracle.
No.
No.
It was.
Oh no, that was 1962. Damn it. 1961. That was the year West Side Story won Best Musical. That was let's see. Elizabeth Taylor was the year before. 1961.
I almost said it.
Was what? I know Elizabeth Taylor was the year before. Anne Bancroft was the year after.
It's Sophia Loren, Two Women.
Oh, Two Women.
1979.
1979 was Sally Field for Norma.
Correct. 1965.
1965 was the Sound of Music. The year the Sound of Music when I was Julie Christie for Dark.
Yes, that is correct. 1991.
1991 was Jodie Foster for The Silence of the
That is
Lambs.
correct. And 2001.
2001 is Halle Berry for Monsters.
Correct.
Ball.
The first and only African American woman or woman of color to ever win Best Actress.
Yeah.
It's actually.
I'm so disappointed I did not get Sophia Loren or Jennifer.
I know.
Oh yes, that's
if
what
it was
we're all gonna
supporting
focus
actress.
on.
If it was
Nobody
supporting
else knew any of these.
You know it.
Look, this is American.
I'm sorry. I may have messed up 2 questions, but look how pretty this looks up here with all
No,
like.
I was going to compliment you on that because holy crap. Also, did you see whatever that's called when Matt was doing that? I can't do it, but he did this to me. Did you see that?
For DIVOS, darling.
That. What do you call that? What does that have a name? That move?
Sassy? The sassy move? The sass?
The sassy move?
The side and sass? The side sass?
You guys are much more flexible necks than me.
Isn't it crazy though? Like actually last night as I was putting this together after a long day of work, which is why I probably messed up 2 of the questions. Here's the ASMR sound of a small violin playing for me.
I feel bad.
Isn't it crazy to think though, as I was putting this together last night, just like looking at all these, there's literally, they all basically look the same. There's just like one woman of color. And like actually putting it all next to each other kind of like was like, whoa, damn, you know?
Well, right away with the first 3, I was like, were they all blonde? Were they all?
I mean, this isn't obviously chronological. Like, there's some people in between, but
Right.
like for the large part, they all like. And Halle Berry is literally the only woman of color to ever win Best Actress.
Well, and that's why I love supporting actress so much because you get a little bit more of a variety.
Which is, I mean, like, do they have to be the supporting actress? Like,
What?
like, do they have to be the supporting actress? Can't they be the leading lady, like the Best Actress?
Of course, yeah, they should be leading. There was, what's it, Marie Dressler for, oh god, what's that name called? She won Best Leading Actress of like 1937 or something, and she's like a hardcore like caricature actress, like, and she won Best Leading Actress, and she's amazing.
Yep.
Supporting actress there just tends to be a little more of a random assortment of types and everything.
Yeah.
And you know, I just love the category of supporting actress because I love a lady who can just like come in, steal the show for 5 minutes, and then just like peace out.
Well, they'll take a chance on supporting actor or actresses. You know, it's not quite that you don't have to shove it in the cookie cutter of leading lady and putting butts in seats and all of that. I've actually never thought about that in those terms before, and I actually think that's a genius observation. You know, glory kind of goes to the leading actors, but you get so much more diversity in the supporting cast.
Yeah, and I think it's more impressive to like make an impression as a supporting actor, like enough of an impression to like, because when you're a leading character, like you have the whole arc of the movie is about your character, so it's so much easier for the audience to like really feel for you and everything. But you know, if you just got a little bit, you just got to make the most of it. And like, I mean, the shortest win was in supporting actress. Like that's the shortest. That's the Academy Award win with the shortest amount of screen time. It was from Network, Beatrice Straight. She has like 4 minutes of screen time, and it's just this like crazy scene where she finds out her husband's cheating on her, and she just like tells him off, and it's just like 4 minutes of her telling him off, and it's just like, this is great.
It was actually, I'm just fact checking you live. It was actually 5 minutes and 40 seconds.
Oh, okay, got it.
Wow.
Well, and the actual shortest nominated performance was like 2.5 minutes. It's Hermione Baddeley in 1959 for Room at the Top. and she just like does so much in that 2.5 minutes. Like she goes big and she goes like subtle, and it's like, how'd you do this all in 2 minutes? But good for her.
Yeah. Well, and to give you the last challenge of the evening, I do want to ask you, since you did say you could, if you could name chronologically all of Meryl Streep's nominations, and if they won, and if you want to make it extra challenging, like, dude, I will like be so impressed. Who won if she did not?
Okay. First, she was nominated for the Deer Hunter in 1978 for supporting actress. Then and the person who won.
Sorry, I meant best actress. Best actress. But like.
Oh, best actress. Well, she only has a couple.
Well, I just don't have those written down.
I know.
Okay, fine. Just let me. Just.
Clearly.
All right, but let me know because I have visuals.
Okay, 1978 for the Deer Hunter was her first nomination, and she was beaten by Maggie Smith for California. Then she won in 1979 for Kramer versus Kramer for supporting actress. That was her first win. Then she was nominated in 1981 for The French Lieutenant's Woman for leading actress. She was beaten by Katharine Hepburn. Then she won in 1982 for leading actress for Sophie's Choice, and then she did not win again for several decades. Then I think the next nomination was Silkwood. In that's 1984, right?
1983.
1983. Okay, 1983. She was beaten by Shirley MacLaine. Then she was nominated in 1985 for Out of Africa, and she was beaten by Geraldine Page. Then she was nominated in 1987 for Iron Lead, and she was beaten by Cher. Then she was nominated in one of my favorite Meryl Streep performances, like top 3 favorite Meryl Streep performances, which is A Cry in the Dark. That was 1988, and she lost to Jodie Foster for The Accused. Then she was nominated again in 90 or 91?
90.
I think 90. 90, damn it. 90 for Postcards from the Edge. She was beaten by 1990 Best Leading Actress was Kathy Bates in Misery. Then she was nominated again in 1995 for Bridges in Madison County, and she was beaten by Susan Sarandon for Dead Man Walking. Then she was nominated. Her next nomination was for One True Thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
In 90, was that 97 or 98? 98. She was beaten by Gwyneth Paltrow for Shakespeare in Love. And then she was nominated again in 1999 for Music of the Heart, which, like, I'm a violin player, so I love that movie. But she was beaten by Hilary Swank in Boys Don't Cry, which is actually my favorite win ever in the Best Leading Actress category. Then she was nominated again in Supporting in 2002 for Adaptation. She was beaten by Catherine Zeta-Jones for Chicago. Then she was nominated again in 2006 for The Devil Wears Prada, and she was beaten by Helen Mirren in The Queen. And she was nominated again in 2008 for Doubt, and she was beaten by Kate Winslet for The Reader. Then she was nominated in 2009 for Julie and Julia, and she was beaten by Sandra Bullock for The Blind Side. Then she won again, finally, almost 30 years after her most recent win. She won in 2011 for The Iron Lady. Then her next nomination after that was not 2012, for 2013 for August Osage County. She was beaten by Cate Blanchett for Blue Jasmine, and she was nominated for Supporting Actress in 2014 for Into the Woods. She was beaten by Patricia Arquette for Boyhood, and she was nominated again in 2006 for Florence Foster Jenkins, and she was beaten by Emma Stone for La La Land. She was nominated again in 2017 for The Post. She was beaten by Frances McDormand for 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. And then she, that's it.
And then that's it.
I feel like I totally just got a glimpse of you as a kid, like rattling off all this information.
I love like a timeline. So like whenever someone is like, I'm meeting someone for the first time, like I need them to tell me like, and they're talking to me about their life, like I need them to tell me like years that things happened, and I need them to tell it to me in like chronological order, because I like love just having like a timeline of things that happen in history and having like it nice and organized and ordered. So it just, I don't know, I feel like organized in my brain when I have like, okay, the year was 1998. This was the year Shakespeare in Love beat Saving Private Ryan for Best Picture, and it was like the beginning, like this was the era of 1998, and this is what it looked like, and Gwyneth Paltrow won leading actress, Judi Dench won supporting. Like it's just having that sort of like vision regarding one year, like neatly organized. So that's why I kind of like Oscar trivia and like award show trivia in general, just because it's so organized by year. I don't know.
Dude, that's amazing. Side note, if you ever get a chance to play some kind of, I'm not at all saying this is how you come across, but just seeing what you did, if you got a chance to play some kind of Rain Man sort of character at some point, I think you would kill it.
Thanks.
That was
Best
so
Picture winner
impressive.
1988.
See, I should have seen that coming. Really should have.
That was amazing. I mean, seriously, that was truly impressive. What was more impressive was my visual skills, as Matthew Richards brought up. Oh,
I know. I saw
How did you get all those pictures right away to like pop up? Like,
I prepared last night. I told you.
Yeah.
with all those Meryl Streep.
Yes.
Was this a question that you were planning? Because I figured this was like an off the cuff.
No,
Okay.
that's why I said when you brought it up, I was like, don't get ahead.
You
Yeah,
could have
you
sold
see-
it that way.
No. This is his moment to shine. I won't do that.
I like.
You what?
In case you can't tell, I like attention. In case you aren't able to
Same.
tell. Yeah.
Wow. So, yeah, this was amazing. Thank you so much for like sharing all of your knowledge with us. What would you say, like, are you most excited about with your DIVOS release? Is it just going to be, are you going to have a screening? Are you going to have like anything?
I am just most excited to have people see it. Like I'm. It's so interesting because I have I've of course seen it 500,000 times, and I've seen the development of it, but I keep forgetting that most people out in the world have no idea what I'm talking about when I'm talking about this movie, because they have not seen any of it. And so I'm just so excited for them to finally see what it is that I've been talking about for the past 9 years of my life, and I can't wait for, I'm really excited for, the young musical theater fans out there to finally see it, because I hope they have a lot of fun with it, and it's really like a love letter to them and to that whole community, because it was such an integral part of my growing up. It shaped like everything about who I am now, and I mean, I don't know, the school play was such a monumental, it was the thing that my world revolved around every single year in school, like, was the school play. And so I'm just so happy that I'm able to sort of shed some light onto that sort of world.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm super stoked for you. Seriously, congratulations. I mean, I know that you were freaking out a couple of weeks ago, but like, this is such a huge achievement. Like, you've been working on it, like you said, for 9 years. It's finally coming out. Like, people are going to enjoy it. People are going to love it. And seriously, congratulations.
Thank you. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, it looked beautiful, even just in the teaser trailer. I was so impressed with that. So I echo what Luis said. Congratulations.
Thank you. You should have seen me in that makeup chair. I was telling those makeup girls, I was like, just make me look 17. Just make me look 17, please. You see these lines that are forming right here? Just get rid of them.
Well, thanks so much for joining. Where can people find more information about the film?
People can find more information about the film at our handle on Instagram or Twitter. It's just at DIVOS the movie. DIVOS, the movie. You can also follow the movie's page on Facebook. You can go to our website, which is www.divosthemovie.com. Or if you follow me on social media, which is it's Matt Steele, ITSMATTSTEELE. Yeah, there it is. I'm literally doing nothing but posting about it. This is all that's consuming my brain. So all of my posts are just about the movie. So you'll be able to find more about that if you follow.
And it comes out July 14th.
July 14th, wherever you can buy movies on demand.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Matt, for joining us. Thank you for pointing out my faults.
No, great. We love you.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Matt.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Whew. Wow.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I always feel like we're on a high after we talk to someone inspiring like that.
He's awesome. I mean, like, he is definitely somebody who, is the definition of a hard worker, somebody who has the heart in it and, doesn't give up, but also has a good head on his shoulders. Like, I think, the idea of like taking time away from the script and like listening to feedback and actually, moving forward with something and then seeing it to fruition is rad.
Yeah, absolutely. I loved the perseverance and listening to how all that got done. So thanks for finding him, Luis. That was awesome.
Well, he was forced upon me actually by Fernando. He was actually more of like a thing that I had to get used to. This is not me. Wait, that was me. That's an old thing. That's not what I wanted to show. I was hoping to.
Yeah, that's funny because that's what he said about you. He said everything was copacetic, and then Luis showed up.
Yeah, it's you can't put two gingers in the same room together. We have a beta fish complex, and it's a little it's a little weird.
Okay.
It's a little weird, but we get along. Well, thanks, Jolene, for joining us again for our weekly Wine and Wine.
Oh, hey man, I live for it. I just count down the hours and days until Wednesday. So thank you for the lovely ASMR session that was
You're
nice.
very welcome. And now for a closing, if anyone would like to follow at DIVOS the Movie, here is the information. Also, www.divosthemovie.com.
Do it. Luis, what does curry hummus sound like when...
That was in honor of Matt Steele. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us this evening. We are going to continue doing these every week on Wednesdays until August, and then we have a little bit of a curveball for you planned, but don't worry, you'll get a heads up.
Well, a head up. We'll let you guys know. And Matthew Bridges, I will think about my diva. I don't have a... Matt Steele inspired me to try to figure out my answer to that question. I don't know off the top of my head, so tune in next week.
Yeah, I kind of feel like a bad gay. Maybe I'll think about that too.
Yeah, you should.
Also, Breonna Taylor's assassins have not been brought to justice.
Yeah, just putting that out there.
Yeah, for real though. All right, thank you everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week. Stay safe, stay home, wear a goddamn mask.
Yep. Bye, guys.